Hey ladies, how are you? Becca and
Leslie.
Back with Sensational Sisters for our very first open dialogue vlog. That was weird. Open dialogue vlog about who knows what, because I will warn you ahead of time that
This could get interesting.
we have a very hard time sticking to a topic, which is why we love our conversations so much and felt we needed to share them with the world. So I will start by saying this. Yes, it is the same day as we have filmed the other two videos because we don't normally wear the same clothes like multiple days in a row. I do jeans, but that's it.
I've got 2-day jeans on today.
Okay, well, good. And the coffee is actually still the same cup of coffee because we're doing these videos back to back to back while we're inspired to do so. So here goes on video number 3 about living on purpose. I actually have a huge passion for this topic because, as I mentioned earlier in another video, I believe with all my heart that you and me and you were not just put here to take up space. I believe with all my heart that you actually have a significance and you have a purpose. And most of us find our purpose in different ways, maybe not even realizing that we found our purpose. But I think the mistake we make is not going after it, not actually taking time to focus on what it is that we were put here to accomplish, and actually giving it some energy and some thought. So with that, we want to both kind of go into some detail about what it means to live on purpose, with purpose. So I don't know. Do you want to go into this? Leslie struggles with this concept.
I do.
I really or this thought.
It's not that I disagree with it at all. It's not.
No.
But
just a personal thing.
Right. You threw that on me yesterday. You said basically it was what's your purpose, Leslie? And then sent me home.
Homework.
Right. So I literally was like up all night bugging the crap out of my husband and cousin about what my purpose was. And I know, okay, so everybody wants to say, well, my kid is my purpose, I
naturally
live to raise her and, make her be the person that I want her to be and blah,
and
blah,
that's
blah,
enough.
Blah. Yeah, it's not though. That's not the case. Like, I think about my purpose and I think, okay, what do I like to do? Like, you don't want your purpose to be something that you don't like to do.
Well, naturally, it's not. I mean, God wouldn't give you a purpose without giving you the drive to want to do it.
Right. So, I mean, I just don't know. Like, I've never really thought, well, I've got to know what my purpose is.
Whereas I have spent my entire life knowing that I'm here for something, just not knowing what it was. And I'll be honest with you, I've reached out in many different ways and have messed up. Have gone the wrong way and put energy into things I shouldn't have put energy into, but I've always been driven towards people. I've always been a lover of people. Sometimes in my youth I would call myself naive because of that, because I give people a lot of myself prematurely. At times, not so much now in my adulthood.
But you know what, though? Like, I'm having, like, an epiphany here, and I am the same way. I do it now. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I see the good. I reach out to people. I mean, I love to help people. That's my thing.
Right.
Like, please let me help you. Whether it be to find a job or fill out, I don't know, some paperwork or take your trash out or something, I want to feel like I've impacted
and someone. This, my friends, is called a servant's heart. Sorry. It is. It is. We are meant to have a servant's heart. We're actually here to help one another, believe it or not. And God put us here because truly we can't do it alone. I mean, we can't do it alone. And whether we want to admit it or not, that we actually need one another, because most of us don't want to admit that. I'm I'm an independent woman. I can do it all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need him. I don't need her. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. Wrong. Sorry. I'm here to tell you that road is a bumpy, bumpy road. And life itself has enough bumps in it without adding your own.
Self-inflicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the purpose of finding your purpose is we have an energy within our souls. Your soul longs for something. And there's a lot of people in this world who are empty right now. And they don't know why. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are filling that void with addictions, drug addictions, alcohol, sex, pornography, which I know they go hand in hand, but I'm saying that those things branch out in a lot of different ways. And that's a whole other vlog. But probably like a lot of them, like maybe 10. But we reach out and we do things. We become an overbearing parent. We become so invested in developing our children into the people that we think they need to be that we forget we need to develop ourselves and become the person that God intended us to be. Because naturally, when we are who we were created to be, we actually inspire other people to do the same for themselves. So it's kind of like being an example versus telling people what to do. You have something to say, and I feel it.
Right. Well, my whole thing is like I've never been concerned about my purpose. Like it didn't eat at me like every day. But is that okay? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, because I live that way. I try to live by example. You know what I mean? I try to be an example. I don't want people to say, well,
she's a hypocrite.
Right. She's a hypocrite, or, I want people to feed off of my energy.
Mm-hmm. And they do. They do. You don't feel it, but they do.
Right.
Leslie told me yesterday that she's the kind of person that you wouldn't pick out in a crowd.
Oh, gosh. You called me out.
Really?
You called me
Sorry.
out.
I am calling her out on this because I totally disagree, and I totally believe that she is absolutely beautiful and carries around an energy with her that actually pulls you in. And I say that simply because it pulled me in. I remember meeting Leslie and thinking, I want to know that girl. I want to hang out with her, and she's awesome.
I wasn't cool. Sorry.
But she stands out in a crowd, okay? And that in itself, you saying you don't feel like pulled to a purpose, I think it's just something that maybe just looks different for each person. And so even though you don't say, I can sit here and tell you that for my entire life I've felt pulled towards people and I wanted to help people, and I have a huge passion for children. It's like ridiculous for children. And for women. And the thing that got me was a few years ago, God gripped me tight and said, okay, what have you accomplished in, this many years, 28 years? What have you accomplished so far to move you further for my glory? Because I don't believe that I'm here for me. I don't believe that it's about me at all. So he said, what are you doing? What have you done to accomplish a goal to help other people? And it does look different for every person. And Leslie, some people, it's not meant to be a big scale. It's not meant to be a vlog. Right. It's not meant to be that. It's meant to be the quiet person in the background who serves with no questions asked, and they get overlooked in everything. The simple person at a church function that cleans up afterwards that nobody sees. So you've got the speakers and the people who stand out in the crowd, and you've got the people that are kind of in the background doing the work, but they're all necessary.
Oh, absolutely.
And it can't happen without them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that if we stop looking at something as an individual circumstance and we kind of remove ourselves from the situation and look out above, I might be a person who wants to stand out and be heard in, some way, shape, or form. Not necessarily. I do not mean that in a selfish way. I mean that I feel that's God's purpose for me. But if your purpose isn't necessarily to be out and heard, you're still finding purpose in where you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's important to know that not everybody's purpose looks the same, but you do have one.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying I think that it's our makeup too.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we were talking about yesterday. How can I put this? Like video friendly. You're a squirrel and I'm a...
Oh. Sorry, I have a horrible laugh. I'll warn you.
You're a squirrel and I'm the tortoise. Really. I'm later.
The hare and the tortoise kind of thing?
Yeah.
Because I'm the person that's vibrant.
You're a... and I'm like, hey. And that's okay.
I get it.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm. And it works.
Right. Well, I mean, as far as the purpose thing goes, you're hungry. You want to know.
Mm-hmm.
You have a question in your head. You've got to find it out, which is wonderful because then I can be like, hey, Becca,
you know anything about this?
Right. And I do. So I think that's the difference between you and I. It's not that I don't want to know what my purpose is. Maybe I'm supposed to find it out a little slower.
Right. Finding it out slower and moving towards it at a slower pace than me. Whereas I got to figure it out. I want to know now. And God doesn't work like that. I just want you to know that up front.
It's on His time.
It's kind of it's been tough because I've driven my husband crazy. Because I want answers now, and I get overwhelmed and have anxiety over this. God, what is it? Where do you want me? And what am I supposed to be doing? And I've actually said that many times, and that's been my prayer for many, many nights. I can't even explain it to you. But with that, along the way, God has been revealing to me in little pieces. And thank God I'm finally at a point in my life where I'm seeing those pieces. Even though they've probably been there all along, I just wasn't prepared to see them because I wasn't opening my eyes to God's perspective. It was about Becca's perspective the entire time. So I think as He's revealing it in little pieces, it's allowing me to humble myself and to realize that not everything can happen right now. It has to happen in the proper time. And what's happened along the way is I have met some amazing people that have fed my purpose, and had I rushed it, I'd have missed a lot of opportunities to hear and to just grow myself, So Leslie being one, I would have never thought, a decade ago that she was part of my purpose. But now realizing that she simply is. And that's just very, it's not even, I don't even question it. It's obvious to me that she's part of my purpose. Now, has it been as obvious to her that she's part of my purpose? Probably not.
You know what's interesting? I'm sitting here and my heart is just filling.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I was so distraught about this whole purpose thing. I really was. And I'm not making this up at all. But, and I even kind of rolled my eyes when we talked about doing this one because I knew that I was just going to get so frustrated again. But I feel good about this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time.
Right.
And I think that's what matters to me as far as finding my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Right. And you got to too. You got to be willing to put it. You've got to be willing to loosen the grip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because there are so many people in this life and in this world who are not where they thought they were going to be, but God's using that exact spot to accomplish something. Mm-hmm. And for me, with our relationship, I've always known our relationship was special.
Right.
That's not a question. But even, you know, in terms of my purpose, I just never thought about how it would apply. You know what I mean? And I didn't start feeling the drive towards helping other people and being being a voice for people, until about 2 years ago. So that part hasn't been like all along.
Mm-hmm.
What it was something in me
Mm-hmm.
saying, find it,
Mm-hmm.
seek it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people miss that. They miss the fact that they're actually supposed to go after something, and not just go with the motions of life. We get stuck. We get stuck in that wheel, you know. The alarm clock goes off. You get up. You do your thing. You raise your kids. You're the wife. You're the routine person, and that's normal. Like, we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to have our normalcy in life. But finding too much contentment in that. I love what our pastor said. It's been several weeks ago, but he was talking about contentment, and he talks about finding a place of discontent in our contentment, because God does not want you to find contentment so deeply where you are that you refuse to move forward.
Mm.
You're supposed to you're supposed to feel like, I'm okay right here and I love it where I'm at. I love my home and my family, and if this is all I ever have, I love it. But God, there's got to be more, because
Right.
You're a God of miracles, and You're a God of the Almighty, and You can do all things. So God, show me You.
Mm-hmm.
Show me You. See, that's where I'm at now.
Right.
I'm saying, okay, God, this is great. Love the house, love the husband, love the children. Love that You fixed my mess. Let me just say that. It was a big mess. Right?
We'll move forward.
I'm just going to say, God, thank You.
Mm-hmm.
Thank You for fixing what I screwed up. And now I'm saying, but I know this isn't all You got.
Right.
Leave me here if You need to, but use me. I'm willing.
Mm-hmm.
Use me. Let's see what You got. Because, think about it.
I'm getting there. I am.
You are.
I am.
You
I'm
are.
getting there.
And it has not been an easy trip for me. Trust me,
Uh-uh.
this has been a stressful thing for me to have to grasp, because I think about it all the time. It takes over my thought process, and it can overwhelm me. I told you yesterday, if you think I'm overwhelming to you,
Mm-hmm.
speaking to you, and the things that I pour out constantly, if you're you should be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should have to deal with what's going on up here. I don't really have anything to say. But you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's been overwhelming for me too, because I've always just been the kind of happy-go-lucky, do whatever comes person. And now I realize, you know what? I want more. I can give more. I have more to offer. And I'm loading myself with wisdom and growing myself as a person, and I want to serve other people and women. I love women. And I know that sounds silly. Maybe I should. Okay, that was not cool, Leslie. I love us as
God's creation.
As God's creation, because we're very special. We are so, so special. And that's something that we'll get into, in another vlog about, the creation of women. But what?
Nothing.
Oh. Like, she's getting ready to say something.
I'm getting ready to make some notes.
Okay. So I think we're so special because we were specifically designed for something. And so many of us are just okay where we are. And that's good enough.
And I don't want you to think that that's where I am, because I'm not okay with where I am.
Even if you
I'm always
are.
hungry for
Right. I mean,
something.
even if you are, though. I don't
Right.
want women out there who think that, I am okay where I'm at. I don't want to do anything else.
It's fine. Yeah, it's perfectly
Be
fine.
you, but be the best, absolute best of you that you can be. Yes. Being a mother is a beautiful purpose. It is an amazing gift that many women take for granted every single day. And I will say that on my level, and Leslie can say that on an even deeper level than
Absolutely.
what I can. It is taken for granted, and I cherish those moments with my children, and I know Leslie does more than I can even put into words.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wake up every morning and you say, I'm going to be the absolute best version of myself today that I can possibly be,
then you're already being that for your children.
right?
When you are 100% you're doing something for your kids that you would never be able to do. When you wake up and say, I'm going to be the absolute best version of who I can be, then you're living for your kids and you're living for yourself, not just making your kids your purpose. When you make your kids your purpose too, I think that
You forget about yourself.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I think you take away something of you. You know, I've seen women who have devoted their entire lives to their kids, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with devoting yourself to your children. I don't want to make that perception, but when everything else is gone, when your kids have moved and grown and have a family of their own, what do you have?
An empty shell.
And you're lonely.
That wishes your kids were back.
You're one of those moms that like call your 30-some-year-old son in the middle of the night and ask him if he put socks on before he went to bed. You know, it's just weird.
Sorry.
Sort of.
No. And I think I don't want this to get like completely out of context or anything like that. And I don't want people to read into our intentions, which naturally human nature allows us to just dissect each other's words and turn them into something they weren't, which happens a lot, especially with social media and things like that. But I think what we're trying to get at here is that growing yourself as an individual serves and gives life to the other people around you who you're hoping to serve. So your children, your husband, things like that. You are actually doing them a favor. You are helping them by growing yourself into being the best absolute wife you can be, the best mother you can possibly be, and be humble. And by humble, that doesn't mean that you are quiet and reserved and you don't really talk too much.
Was that a jab?
No. It wasn't. I'm saying, like, people hear the word humble and they, like, get, like, weird about it.
Like Piglet from Winnie the Pooh.
Right, or Pooh. But humble, meaning that you are willing to say, I'm sorry. You're willing to say, can you please forgive me? And you're willing to look at your family and your friends and your loved ones and say, how can I be better? What is about me that I need to work on? And that's where I am. That's the 2-year journey I've been on right now, is complete self-improvement in every aspect. And along along that journey, God revealed, this is your purpose. So I think that the key here, and I didn't know this from the beginning of this video.
I could hear it in your voice.
I did. It's just coming to me right now. I think the point of this vlog about living on purpose is not about knowing what you're here for and figuring it out and going for it. It's about investing in yourself.
Amen.
And it's about loving you right where you are, but to not be satisfied with standing still, and to feed other people and allow other people to feed into you and grow yourself, and be willing to say, the only competition I'm in, the only people I'm going to compete with in my life is the person I was yesterday. That's it.
Absolutely.
So as long as I'm better today than I was yesterday, and as long as I wake up tomorrow and I'm grateful, so grateful for where I'm at, no matter the struggles, because there will be victory from every struggle through Christ alone. when you wake up and you can say that, and you can say, God, I'm sorry I messed up yesterday. I want a fresh slate today. Let's start fresh. Help me be better. I believe in that, your purpose begins to kind of unfold. And that is powerful to me.
Yeah, amen.
So with that, I think we'll stop because we're at like almost a 30-minute video, and I was thinking it was going to be like 15. But you can see why our conversations, they kind of go. I'm actually proud of us because we kind of stayed on point. Like,
we did.
That's not normal. So like somebody, yeah. I'm proud.
We're growing up.
We are. We're better than we were yesterday because yesterday was 5 hours of randomness for real. But I loved it. And she filled my cup like crazy, and had us, that's why we're here today. So if it hadn't been for that 5 hours yesterday, we wouldn't be doing this today. So we thank you all so much for this. And we do hope that
you pull something.
Yeah. And let us know.
Absolutely. You can find both of us on Facebook. Make a comment here on the video. Where else?
If you're interested in receiving the newsletter each week, Blessing and Gratitude comes from blessingandgratitude@gmail.com. I'd love to add you to the list for that because that's a great tool to just kind of stay connected and get a kind of a written version of what we're doing here. So, but yeah, reach out to us and let us know what, we're going to have a YouTube channel here. So comment, let us know what you think. And if there's a topic you want us to cover.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let us know. Cause we have lots to say about lots of stuff. So we're happy to go into detail about that. And if you aren't sure what your purpose is,
don't be afraid.
It's okay. It really is okay. Because I haven't known my whole life. I just knew that there was something. And I think right now, if we just all, as women, begin to celebrate each other and love each other and stop comparing and competing with one another, that our purpose will be revealed in becoming the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. So, anything else? No, that's it. So thank you all so much, and we look forward to the next video. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.